All right, hanging out is on air live. All right, so it's me, the Godless Guntard, and Sam. This is the end of my little winter break here. I've been fighting this bad cold for over a week now. I've got my cough medicine, so I'll be drinking that as we go along, also known as scotch. This will be number 4 for the little get-togethers here. I can't remember what I'm calling them.
Rational Guard.
Rational Guard. God dang it. I keep confusing the names. But I've been working on a video as a response to the last Democratic debate. And you can see it there. That's about where I'm at. I'm just now where Martin O'Malley is starting to talk to everybody about his gun control plan and how he's so different and how he's so great.
So he and Hillbilly are trying to out-extreme each other on the issue.
Well,
again.
it looks like Hillary's trying to take the center. I mean, if you listen to the debate, it looks like he's trying to ride the rails of the center. Well, the center of the Democratic Party, as it is now. So she's trying to ride the rails.
Center of the people who they haven't thrown under the bus yet.
Right. So somewhere between, I would like to confiscate all the guns, but I can't, and I know that's not something that will happen. And between what we have now. So she's trying to ride halfway in between that. And actually, they tried to question her about terrorism, I think it was, and the San Bernardino shootings. And she basically did the right thing and tried to respond about terrorism and how terrorism is a separate issue from gun control.
She did?
Yes, she kind of tried to split the center. I just finished Hillary. That's why I know that. So yeah, because I went back and this is the pain I'm going through. I went back and downloaded it and listened to the whole thing over again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's what I did over the past week. I haven't gotten very far on it. My editing skills are still crap. But yeah, I've been working on that. That should be out tonight or tomorrow, depending on when we get done with this, and then I'll finish that up tomorrow sometime.
Okay.
That'll be a good one. Because it's mostly Martin O'Malley. Most of my rage gets focused on Martin O'Malley, who's finally decided to block me on Twitter after many weeks of yelling at him about what he's done in Maryland and the Firearm Safety Act of 2013 and the 53% increase in gun violence in Maryland overall and 59% in Baltimore increase and 59% increase in gun violence in Washington, D.C. and everything, all this FSA of 2013 was supposed to make everything safer, and it didn't. But he finally blocked me. But Martin O'Malley's, I guess since the last time we talked, Martin O'Malley's been in the news a lot because one person showed up at a campaign event in Iowa for him. So that was nice. That was nice of that guy.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Hi, you have one supporter in Iowa. And then he did not get on the Ohio ballot for president. He did not have enough signatures.
Well, think about it this way. Of the 3 remaining Democratic candidates, O'Malley's the only one not working for the Clinton campaign.
Oh, yeah. He'll get some sort of consolation prize, I'm sure.
Vice President?
Vice President, Attorney General. I think he's a lawyer by trade.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah. So he'll get some sort of consolation prize, I'm sure. Tell him what he's won. You get Attorney General of the United States, and that would be a fucking nightmare. That would be horrible. But yeah, that's near our little home areas. Are you still in Northern Virginia, or did you head back down yet?
I head back down a week from today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a little work trip up to West Point, New York, all next week, so that'll be fun.
Oh, I have a couple of friends who are West Point cadets, and I've never been I've never been to New York at all, though.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Although I am driving up there, so that's nice. It'll take me less time to drive up there than it will to get through DC traffic, get on a plane, get off a plane, get a rental car, drive out to West Point. So I'm just toast.
Yeah, DC traffic is slower than walking.
I have jogged from Silver Spring, Maryland to Washington, D.C. to the National Mall. And I think I did it as fast as anyone could drive there. And I don't run very fast either. So if that tells you anything. Yeah, so Martin O'Malley. And then close to home, Virginia, your home state. Not my home state, but a place I followed since I live so close to it.
Our Attorney General decided to nullify most concealed carry reciprocity agreements. So I think there are only 6 states whose carry permits we still recognize.
Yeah, let's call that what that is. That's a dick move. That's all that was.
Yeah. And I know for a fact that a lot of the states involved have more restrictive standards than we have.
Yeah, when I was a resident there, I got my permit, and that was years ago. That was 2007 when I lived in Virginia.
And the training requirement is a joke. All it is it sit at your computer talking to one of the people who has been in this series of hangouts for the minimum amount of time required, and you could use Eric, the guy in Missouri. He taught us a course over a Google Hangout for my carry permit.
Wow. The admin, Brian Spry, just commented. He's unable to comply. Not enough minerals. I don't know what that means. But he won't be
It
there.
means that he must construct additional pylons.
Okay. So yeah, so the Virginia AG and the Virginia governor, Terry McAuliffe, he's going insane. He's basically going power hungry and stomping on rights.
Well, McAuliffe started his term as governor by appointing CSGV people to advise him on that matter.
That's always good. That's always a good sign. So does Ballduster McSoulpatch work for him, or is this one of his lackeys?
A lackey.
A lackey. A ball hair from Ballduster McSoulpatch works for Governor McAuliffe in Virginia.
So I thought it was kind of hilarious what the one state legislator did in response to the AG's decision.
Now, what's that?
He's now the House of Delegates is going to vote on a bill to disarm the security details that the state police does for the governor and attorney general and people.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with that. If you don't think people should be allowed to protect themselves with guns, you're supposed to be one of the people when you get elected to office. That's the whole point. You're not above us. You're not below us. You're just one of us.
Yeah, I mean, Bernie Sanders likes to pretend he's one of us, but when was the last time he had a real job?
He's been running for office or in office, I think, all of his life. I think he went to college and then hopped into office, and he's been there ever since.
He's been continuously in office since 1981.
Holy, I was born in 81. My whole life.
Yeah.
He's been in elected office. Holy shit.
So, although he definitely has far more redeeming qualities than Clinton, he should probably stop pretending to be one of the people.
Yeah, spare us your fake demagoguery. We understand. You're a politician. You're a member of the political class. We get it. Yeah, and he does have more redeeming qualities than Clinton. So, I mean, that's always a bonus.
Have fewer redeeming qualities.
That would be true. Then it'd be like Voldemort or somebody you'd be voting for at that point. Darth Vader.
Actually, I'd prefer Darth Vader.
He just wants to build a big empire. I mean, what's the problem with that?
Yeah. Speaking of Darth Vader, at one point when the King of Saudi Arabia visited Buckingham Palace, the band of the Welsh Guards played the Imperial March to announce his visit.
That's about right. They kicked off Saudi Arabia kicked off 2016 with a bang, and they executed a very
47?
prominent Shia cleric, and it's causing riots.
They beheaded 47 people.
I mean, if you're going to do it, go big. I mean, go big or go home. It is Saudi Arabia where the police drive, $1.5 million fantasy cars. So you might as well do it big. Now they're rioting all over. Now Shiites are burning down Saudi embassies.
Well, Saudi Arabia is one of those countries that doesn't seem to be very good at being a U.S. ally.
Well, they provide us what we want, and in turn, we turn the other cheek, and we look away from their misgivings.
They're better about it than Turkey is, though.
Yeah, Turkey's made a turn for the worse in recent years, unfortunately.
Yeah, this president is...
They're definitely not following the example of Ataturk, that's for sure.
Yeah. Like, you saw what he said yesterday, right?
The president of Turkey?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, he said that, he's advocated for changing the political system of Turkey to strengthen the president and, among other things, make it so the president and prime minister are the same person. And for an example of a country where they did that, he used Germany in the late 1930s.
Yeah, that worked out real well.
Yeah. He actually said that.
What an idiot. Jesus. How dumb do you have to be, or ignorant of history?
But he's clearly not ignorant, because he's clearly better informed than most people about the German political system of the time. It's just that he doesn't think it was that bad.
All right. Virginia GOP may strip McAuliffe of his protective detail over concealed carry, which I think is good. I don't think any...
back on topic. That's great.
I don't think any person who any political official who advocates for civilian disarmament should get any sort of government taxpayer funded security of any kind.
The first thing that a government can do in order to get me to comply with their restrictions is disarm the police completely.
And that will never happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It never should happen. It's unless we live in a utopia.
Yeah, the people should always be at least as well armed as the police, because the main thing that makes police different from military occupation is that the police are supposed to be from the people.
Carrico, who I guess is the leader of the General Assembly in Virginia. You guys do everything weird in Virginia. You have you're a Commonwealth, so you have House of Delegates and
House of Delegates and State Senate.
Okay. Carrico said he'll address the issue come January. A lot of governor's power is deferred. And he said that I have a budget amendment that I'm looking at to take away his executive protection unit. And this is the part I love. If he's so afraid of guns, then I'm not going to surround him with armed state policemen.
Yeah.
Which I think is the crux of the matter. If you're going to blame the object and say the object is dangerous, as the president does, as Senator Feinstein does, as every anti-gun rights politician does, then you can't surround yourself with those inanimate objects because you're saying the object itself is dangerous and we can't allow people to have it. You're separating it from the person that's holding it and the intent of the person that's holding it. And you're saying just that object itself is dangerous. Then you shouldn't be allowed to surround yourself with them. That includes the president. And I would say he should disarm the Secret Service. They shouldn't carry any guns around him because they're dangerous. And if I can't protect myself with a gun in DC, then neither should the president, because the president is a member of the citizenry, right? He's just elected to an office.
He's not our God Emperor.
Right. He's not a God Emperor. So if he wants us to abide by that rule, then he should abide by that rule. I would, if they could do that, if the government would disarm, and here's the scary thing, is that the Secret Service carries fully automatic submachine guns. They carry ARs. They carry sniper rifles with large caliber sniper rifles.
How do they fit a P90 in their suit?
That's a secret.
Just like their service?
Yep. Yeah. It's not actually in their suit.
Well, weren't the Uzis formerly in their suits before they got rid of those?
Did they carry them under their jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so they carry a P90 submachine gun, and if you say submachine gun, it has the word machine gun in it, so it's obviously very dangerous.
Yeah.
We should probably get rid of those. Any ARs, the small arms that they carry, the side arms, they have 15 to 19 rounds, very large capacity, super uber duper large capacity magazines. We should probably get rid of those as well. Revolvers, I think they should go back to 38 snub nose or something, like little 38.
Why? The average person can't carry those in DC.
Oh, that's true. You can't carry that in DC. So anytime they're in DC, they should disarm themselves.
Yeah.
I'm completely for that. So any anti, and that includes Muriel Bowser as well, who's there was an article that came out last year about her armed protection detail. It costs about $1.5 million a year. A very anti-gun DC mayor.
Probably the worst that DC has ever had, even worse than the mayor who passed the big law that got overturned by the Supreme Court.
Yep. And she said she doesn't like guns. I don't like guns. Well, that's great. That's your personal preference. I don't like pickles. I'm not going to outlaw pickles. I don't like tomatoes either. I'm not going to outlaw them.
So if you don't like them, why do you have surround yourself with people carrying them to protect you?
Yeah, they don't make you safer. They make you less safe. That's your argument, right? Guns make people less safe. So you shouldn't surround yourself with them. Those are dangerous objects. It doesn't matter the intent of the person that's carrying the object or the tool and what they're going to do with it. You're saying the object itself is dangerous. So we should remove all those objects from around you. I'm just looking out for their safety.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to look out for the safety of people who think guns are inherently dangerous objects.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure why people seem to think that they are somehow either radioactive or possessed by demons.
Well, they're sentient, so guns are obviously sentient beings who have their own agenda, and just they're too dangerous we can't control them when we own them. So they should be gotten rid of.
The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit has clarified and reinforced its previous decisions and reaffirmed the constitutionality of Florida's Firearms Owners Privacy Act.
What's that? The Firearm Owners Privacy Act.
Doctors are not allowed to ask patients about their weapons unless there is a legitimate medical reason to do so.
That makes sense. Hey, I mean, I don't have a problem with the doctor asking if a person, if they see, like, hey, this person is having mental issues that can make them a danger to themselves or others. Do you have guns in the home? Because we're about to commit you to a. I don't have a problem with that. Someone asking, because you can always say no. You don't have to answer the question truthfully. You're not under oath.
But the thing is, a lot of the major medical organizations, the professional societies or whatever, are trying to turn it into a. We like to pretend that we're experts on this matter too, so we're going to be political activists here.
Any political there are very few political activists that are anti-gun rights that I've met that know anything about guns or gun laws at all.
The thing about doctors is that on a lot of different things, they think that having a medical degree means that they're knowledgeable about something that they know absolutely nothing about.
Well, they're a doctor.
And this is just one of the many things.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a legislator. I'm not a gun control expert. I'm not a gun law expert. Damn. Oh, continuing with our theme of politicians, let's see, we covered Martin O'Malley.
Obama executive orders?
Oh, yeah, we can do that next. His executive actions that are coming up allegedly after the big holiday break here.
Since this is his last term, and you know what words his stuff is reminding me of to begin his last year? To the last I grapple with thee. From hell's heart I stab at thee. For hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee.
It's just the last thing he couldn't. It's just the last thing he couldn't do. He couldn't. He was so limited by the laws we have in place and the Constitution and the rights, and it just confounded him at every turn that he just couldn't be a dictator and say, we're going to get rid of all ARs and you can only own a 6-shot 38 caliber snub nose revolver and that's it. And I'm confiscating everything else. And it just confounded him that he couldn't do that.
Yeah. And just like Captain Ahab with his white whale or Khan Noonien Singh with Jim Kirk, he is determined to sink all to achieve this goal at any cost beyond what any sane person would do to achieve it.
Yeah, and he's sort of, it's almost quixotic, right? I mean, it's like
quixotic.
Yeah, he's just chasing at this windmill that he can't sort of, he thinks it's a dragon, and the NRA is this big dragon that they're trying to go after. And the Democratic Party, the progressive liberal Democratic Party base that's all anti-gun rights and social justice warriors and all those dumb people.
They think that
they're the Sancho Panza in this tale.
Yeah, they think that they can't possibly lose an election because they haven't talked to anyone who disagrees with them. You know why they haven't talked to anyone like that?
Because they're in their own little authoritarian bubble.
Yeah.
They stay in their little pages like Liberal America and, Americans Against the Tea Party. And they stay in their little social media, little authoritarian bubbles, and they have all their beliefs confirmed, and they never have them denied, and they get likes for all their comments like, fuck those homosexuals, yay President Obama, clap clap clap. And I commented today on Liberal America, I said, this executive action that he's proposing is a do nothing it's do nothing action to placate you dumb people, you dumb liberals. And remember, everything he's doing now, this executive action he's taking, can be turned around and used on you in the future to limit rights of minorities or to defund Planned Parenthood and limit access to abortion as it's been used in the past. So good luck with that, and make sure you're clapping when we're limiting the ACLU and Planned Parenthood, and we're doing all the same things to Planned Parenthood that we're doing to the NRA right now. And they will be silent, and they won't say anything.
Have it. Hold on.
Okay. I mean, the thing is, if Bush would have said, or done the things that Obama says he's going to do to gun rights, if he would have done those things to other rights that they cared about, they would have been flying off the handle.
Oh, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just if a Republican president would have done the things that Obama wants to do to gun rights.
Yeah.
If a Republican president would have done the same things to rights they care about, they would not be clapping and cheering like they are on Liberal America Facebook page or Daily Kos or any of the social justice warrior regressive hotspots.
They are just like the people. They are just like the worst of the Tea Party people.
Yeah, I mean they're the same people. It's the same people with a different right. It's the exact same. I mean, because when the Tea Party was coming up, and I was still a very big, I thought I was a liberal, so I started studying authoritarianism and all that stuff, and I started reading about authoritarianism. And I looked at all the check marks for authoritarianism, and then over the past couple of years, I've watched as the left has checked all these check marks for authoritarianism, and so it's the exact same people with a different cause. I mean, it's just they're focused on a different thing. But I mean, the one thing I would ask is where, I've said this is do nothing legislation or executive action that he's trying to put
regulation.
Forward. Yeah, it's do nothing regulation. It's not going to do anything. It's going to affect 1,000 people that sell more than 50 guns at a gun show. It's going to have no significant impact on gun violence or violence in general or crime or gun crime in general, and specifically gun crime. So
they're not even concerned about violence. They're just concerned about weapons.
And they're not even concerned about weapons. They're more concerned about this scoring political points against the NRA. That's like their main objective.
Yeah, of course.
So, and really, that's become their entire mens rea at this point. Their entire
guilty mind, you mean?
Yeah, their entire raison d'etre is like score points against the NRA. It's just this beast they cannot slay for some. I mean, and they just keep going after it
and that's because they think they're up against a monolithic entity when they're actually up against a grassroots movement. Just because your thing is a load of astroturf BS doesn't mean our side is.
Yeah, and it's made up of people who support the organization and from all across the political spectrum and all races and genders and identities, and so it's really hard to play identity politics against the NRA.
Yep. And the thing that they like to claim was a grassroots thing was an unemployed mother named Shannon Watts, who had just recently been a PR executive for major companies such as Monsanto.
From my hometown.
And already had close ties to Bloomberg.
So yeah, I mean, so if you look at this title, right, this kind of goes to what I'm saying about.
And right at the end of the year, on pretty much the day before they would otherwise have to disclose where the funding came from, that organization merged with Bloomberg's organization, so they didn't have to.
Of course. Go to Daddy Bloombucks. So the title of the
Yeah.
article that I commented on is President Obama is about to flip off the NRA and it's going to be beautiful. And that says everything. I mean, if you were worried about gun safety, right, you would say something about gun safety in the title, knowing something about journalism, as I do from my profession, you would say something about gun safety in the title or the lead. And it says, executive action, all gun sales. But the title is President Obama is about to flip off the NRA. And that's really, I mean, when you say everything with your title, right? Yeah, that's what you want the basis of your story to be. And here they're saying the focus is the NRA. Our focus is scoring political points against the NRA, and that's been their entire focus all along.
Yep. Oh, you'll never guess who the top donor to the Virginia Attorney General's campaign was.
George Soros.
Bloomberg.
No way.
1.3 million.
Daddy Bloombucks?
Yeah.
No way. And didn't he dump a bunch of money into a nothing state Senate seat in Northern Virginia?
Yeah.
No way, man. It's a conspiracy. And they talk about the oligarchs. And, we need to get money out of politics.
They like to talk about the Koch brothers, but do the Koch brothers really do anything different from Bloomberg?
No, I mean, not really. Actually, they do it better than Bloomberg. That's their main gripe, is that they do what Bloomberg does, but they do it bigger and better. Right. So, I mean, they've actually found all these 501c deltas or C4s or.
You can't really get much bigger than the 20th richest man in the world. Although I guess 6th richest man in the world and his slightly less wealthy brother is a bit bigger.
Yeah. So so there's two of them. They do a lot. They found a lot more organizations to funnel the money through.
Yeah.
They do it right. They're very smart about what they do and how they do it. Whereas Bloombucks thinks he can just dump money into these dumb organizations to try and limit rights. And it's just going to work out because he's going to have his PR maven from Indianapolis, Indiana, do all the PR work to make this a grassroots, an AstroTurf campaign to limit rights for people. And he thinks he's going to win in the end, but you can't win because you're going against the NRA, which is this huge organization. You're trying to play identity politics against a organization that has people from all across the political spectrum, from left to right, from all sorts of identities. The LGBT community is involved in the NRA, the Pink Pistols, some of those guys and gals and people are members of the NRA. So it's very hard to play the left's identity politics against the NRA, and they're just now beginning to realize that it's a losing battle. And I can't wait till the next election cycle when all the people who were all the people who are trying to play these identity politics against the NRA and trying to play just straight identity politics game just lose their ass in election after election. They think it's going to be a sweeping year for the Democrats, but there are people like me who have never voted for a Republican in their life that are not voting for Democrats this year.
Yeah, I was thrown under the bus before I went of voting age. I remember at one point. Remember how that governor of Wisconsin, what's his name, Scott whatever, there was a recall election they tried to. Yeah, that guy. Remember how there was a recall election?
Yeah. They tried to recall him and they've lost. So he was elected twice in a year.
I got shouted down when I tried to point out that it wasn't because of money in politics, which is itself a meaningless phrase when you consider the fact that money and politics are two sides of the same thing. They refused to consider the possibility that maybe people liked the fact that this was the guy who signed the law that turned Wisconsin from having no carry permits at all to shall issue.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the other big news from this week is that Texas is now an open carry state. The state I used to live in, I have a Texas resident concealed handgun license.
yeah.
And the sky was allegedly going to fall, and I was expecting by this time
Blood
to
in the streets, just like when Florida started giving everyone a concealed carry permit in 1985, and it turned into a massacre there that people have been fleeing to Cuba.
yeah, I was expecting to see like a million dead in Texas. Nothing. I'm watching CNN right now. I see nothing on the news yet about the great number of massacres and the blood running through the streets of Austin or Houston or Dallas any more than it usually does.
Uh, don't worry, it'll happen in at least one of many parallel universes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with parallel universes, right? If it
There's
could
always
happen,
gonna play.
it
Yeah,
does happen in some universe somewhere. Yeah, and the cue the sky is falling rhetoric from the left. And it's nothing because if you read the legislation, you can only open carry a pistol if you have a concealed handgun license in the first place, which means you've gone through 12 hours of instruction, you've qualified with the weapon with an instructor there, you've had your fingerprints sent to the state, which are sent to the FBI, which checks you out and makes sure you're not, some sort of criminal, and then it sends it back. It took me 3 months to get my concealed handgun license between training, sending all the stuff in, and then getting it back.
yeah. It took me about 3 weeks.
Yeah, and that's even with all my stuff already being on record with the federal government.
Yeah, 3 weeks, including a pitiful excuse for a training, and then heading over to the courthouse on my 21st birthday because I wasn't able to do it any earlier.
Well, I
And
started to
then,
get concerned because it was 6 weeks later and I still hadn't gotten it. And I was like, oh man,
yeah,
what if they found something like found something on my name that I didn't know about or something?
yeah. And Virginia does allow some local governments to restrict open carry, but the worst they can do is for anything carry, for if you have more than 20 rounds loaded, you have to have a carry permit. That's the
That makes sense. I mean, I guess okay if you want to make that sort of weird, arbitrary distinction.
that's the most they can restrict open carry.
And good luck enforcing that, by the way.
Uh,
Well, I mean, that's the thing with
yeah,
President Obama's actions. I got it highlighted here. Informal dealers to obtain a license from Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Explosives and conducting a background checks up to 2 years ago. For dealers who sell at least 50 guns annually. So they're talking about dealers who go to gun shows and sell at least 50 guns annually. I'm on the fence about this. I don't think you need it because I don't think it's going to do anything. I think it's do nothing. It's not going to do anything but cause inconvenience for these
it's
guys that
not
are
like
selling.
such people really exist.
Yeah, it's going to affect like 1,000 dudes. That's it. I mean, there's nothing to it. It's do nothing legislation. It's not going to stop gun violence. And even if you're going to enact this, I would like for you to prove to me that there is a public safety concern for you to do it. So prove to me that the guys who have sold these guns at these gun shows have contributed significantly to gun violence or gun crime rates throughout the United States. Make that case and then do the executive action. And I won't fight it as vociferously.
Yeah, but they're not going to provide evidence because the evidence is.
It does not exist.
That's why they like to object to that law banning the CDC from making up their own evidence.
Well, yeah, because you can go out and find and search for evidence that'll support whatever claim you want to make.
Yeah. And 2 years ago, the CDC did a study, and they didn't falsify their evidence like they're banned from doing. And you know what the conclusion was?
that they don't need any new that we don't need any new gun laws. That what we're doing
Yeah.
and doing any more would have no significant impact. An assault weapons ban would
So,
have no impact.
yep. So what happened was, uh, what was that people just pretended it didn't happen, talked about how the CDC is banned from researching the matter.
And that's what they do.
Yeah. If your cause is so righteous, why lie? Right?
Because you have no facts. You still even if your cause is righteous in your own mind, you still have to make it match reality. And if you can't do that with facts, it's not going to work. And that's one of the main problems they have. Okay. So we covered President Obama's executive actions. Oh, this was my favorite thing that happened since we've been gone. Connecticut Congressman Chris Murphy.
Oh, that guy.
You know this dude? Chris Murphy.
What did
Okay,
he do this time?
so he said, I thought it was Christmas, but apparently it was December 3rd. It was New Year's Eve. So, all of Congress is on break right now. So
Yep.
here's what Chris Murphy did on December 31st here. He went through and listed all of the quote unquote mass shootings.
Oh, was it the Reddit thing again?
Yeah, as listed on shooting tracker, what is it, mass shootingtracker.com, which is based off
Reddit.
a highly flawed and discredited Reddit thread.
Yeah. Because Reddit is a reliable source.
And this is the kind of intellectual integrity that we expect of our elected representatives. We are doomed as a fucking nation. Hey, I went to Reddit and it said it on there. Well, so I just spent time going through, random tweets and tweeting at him and, saying not a mass shooting or, hey, no, that's not a mass shooting, or hey, that happened in Baltimore where we have the fourth strictest gun control laws in the country. Would you like, and then I would tag Martin O'Malley. Maybe Martin O'Malley can explain why the FSA of 2013 didn't prevent this mass shooting.
Yeah. I try to avoid Twitter so I don't get much brain damage.
I can't remember who was it that said it? So, there's somebody who says Twitter is a place where people go to hurt you with their mental illness. I think that's partially true. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. I'll admit it. Hurting people with my own insecurities and mental illness. But yeah, so I just go through and hit random ones that he had tweeted out. But he spent all day doing this. So we paid a congressman to tweet all day, basically lies and discredited information to make an emotional case to limit rights of individuals in the United States of America. Good job, Chris Murphy. You're fucking A+ tops right there. Not only you're a stooge, you're a dupe. You tweeted lies and misinformation that have no basis in reality. You tweeted stuff that isn't mass shootings. You tweeted stuff that makes absolutely no sense. You're a fucking idiot. Congratulations.
Some New York state legislator is proposing a bill to make it so you cannot possess more ammunition of a certain more of any kind of ammunition than can fit in 2 magazines worth of any one firearm that you own that is chambered for it.
Damn. Or they were going to limit. There was something where they were going to limit how much ammo you could buy in 90 days.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to find it now.
No more than twice the maximum capacity of any firearm that you own in that caliber.
Oh, here it is. Well, here's townhall.com. I mean, that's 50. You're 50-50 on townhall.com, but
Yes.
they're quoting legislators, I guess. Get done on screen share.
Yeah, I try to avoid town hall. I try to avoid the blaze.
Yeah, so do I. But sometimes, I mean, there's no information
Yeah.
coming out of any place else. So state lawmakers from Brooklyn announced on Monday a new draft legislation aimed at tightly restricting the sale of ammunition in New York. The bills were drafted in an effort to keep potential terrorists from stocking up on ammo. Bull fucking shit. You're not concerned about terrorists.
Yeah.
You fucking lying pieces of shit. The twin bills are backed by Brooklyn Borough President Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. Must be all those fucking NRA members in Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy and fucking hipsters in tight jeans with their concealed handgun licenses. You fucking idiot. Fuck you. Who are you? Eric Adams? Yeah, fuck you, Eric Adams.
I much prefer the Eric Adams who sings for Manowar.
Would place a strict limit on the number of bullets. So here they are. They're using terrorism as a way to get what they want. Like this, they wanted this anyway, right?
Yeah.
So saying, well, we got.
And these were the same people criticizing the Republicans for doing the same thing with terrorism for in 2002.
Yeah, if the Republicans could have somehow linked limiting abortions to stopping terrorism, they would have done that. But just because liberals can do this with guns and ammunition, they're doing it. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But the legislation would place a strict limit on the number of bullets a gun owner could purchase over a 90-day time period and prevent gun dealers from selling ammunition to for a firearm to anyone unauthorized to have such a weapon. You are cunts. And I mean that in the sincerest, most deprived way.
Well, it's better than the laws that they have in Israel for that.
You know how much ammunition I just bought when I went back to Indiana?
A whole cache of ammunition.
I easily shot, between me and my family, we probably shot 1,000 rounds of all different types and calibers.
Nice.
49 mil, 38, 45. I think those are the main ones we shot. I don't think there were any funny guns out there, but.
So you know what the Israel laws for how much ammunition you can have are?
I don't think it matters as long as you're killing terrorists. I think that's.
If you're allowed to own a privately owned firearm, you get one box when you take it home from the store, and you don't get any more aside from what you buy and shoot at the range.
What? That's fucking retarded. That's the dumbest shit. You live in a war zone in Israel. They just had an attack on a cafe like yesterday. Let your citizens carry guns, you dunces.
Either that or it's one box per year.
Oh, that's bullshit.
That's also what Brazil is moving to now, but that's an improvement. Because now they're saying that their new law is that the police can't arbitrarily deny it.
Do the police have to approve ammunition sales? Is that?
Police, you don't have to get law enforcement permission to own a firearm unless if you just have to go through a background check and stuff, and you can buy up to 50 rounds per year for each firearm that you own. That's what Brazil just moved to, which is better than what it used to be.
Wow. Yeah, that lasts me like a week. Oh, here's the real kicker of this. Penalty for the violation of this law will move from a Class B misdemeanor to a Class E felony. So up to 4 years in prison with the minimum 1 year. So if you buy more than the allocated number of rounds that some politician in Brooklyn wearing tight jeans with black wire frame glasses, a man bun, and a fucking beard, and a flannel shirt, if you buy more ammunition than that guy thinks you should have,
yeah,
then you will go to jail for 4 years. You are then a felon. You will never be allowed to own guns ever again. Ah, wow. That's a pretty heavy penalty for ammo. So not only are they not coming for your guns, they're not coming for your ammunition either, or except when they are. The new authoritarians.
Yep. So I just saw something from our friend the Armed Skeptic about Gavin Newsom. You know that idiot in the California Lieutenant Governor?
I lost that. All I heard was California Lieutenant Governor.
You know that guy?
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
So he now posted something on Facebook about how horrible it is that people are allowed to open carry. This is the new normal now that open carry is legal in Texas, and it's a guy at a fast food counter with a slung AK.
Oh, that has nothing to do with the new law. That's the problem with these people. They don't understand anything about the law. You could open carry rifles in Texas based on a technicality that they wanted people to be able to hunt and walk along the road with a rifle. So they had to make it legal for people to open carry rifles because you can't stuff them in a pocket and hide them.
You can
So
also concealed carry a rifle. You just usually have to have a tax stamp, and you don't have to have a permit to do that.
right. So there was this technicality of people are using this technicality in Texas. I don't like open carry. I don't open carry personally. That's me personally. But if I start fighting against the right of open carriers to open carry because that's what they want to do, I'm just as much a hypocrite as the people that are against my right to concealed carry. So
Yeah.
I won't be against
First, they came for the open carriers, but I did not stand up because I did not open carry.
it. Exactly. So yeah, I'm a concealed carry guy. I concealed carry when I can. I don't ever open carry.
And then they came for the
Then they
modern
came for my
sporting
ammunition.
rifle owners. Then it came for the sidearm owners, but they'll never come for me and my break action shotgun that costs more than their car.
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
And I was a Fudd, so I did not care. And next thing I know, I'm hunting with a stone and a slingshot.
Yeah.
I look like a Palestinian throwing rocks at a deer. So yeah, I mean that's that law. And of course, the Supreme Court we have now would have completely uphold that law. But that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. You can do that. I mean, that's cool. You can. So now you have people running around. You know, for any of the people that have concealed handgun license, you know, the 70 or 80 people in Brooklyn that have a concealed handgun license. So now
There
they're
are
running
that
around
many
with.
people with carry permits in Brooklyn? Are you sure?
Well, I'm rounding way high. I'm rounding in the tens. So so let's say 20. So now they can't buy ammo to go qualify or practice with their weapon. So now they're going to be carrying a weapon that they can't practice with.
Yeah.
So have fun with that. Good luck with that. So if they ever have to, you know, pull their gun out and use it, I hope you know they, you know, use those rounds sparingly and got some good instruction out of those whatever rounds they're allowed to buy every 90 days. And I like how they link it to terrorism too. You know, using terrorism to strike up the fear and fearmonger and oh, we're going to use terrorism to limit rights, just like Bush did. And then we're not going to say anything about it. We're just going to, all of us liberals that were screaming for 8 years about how horrible Bush and all the Republicans were for using terrorism to limit rights and spy on us and do all that shit. We're just going to be completely silent and mum because these are the people on our side. They'll never
You
use this
see,
against us.
it's not hypocrisy when your side does it after criticizing other people for doing it.
Oh, that's how it works. Okay, I'm on board. I'm with it. Let's do it.
So,
Oh, man.
yeah.
Load of shit. I'm trying to read through the rest of this article.
So that Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, of all the people in that state named Eric Adams, I much prefer the guy who sings for Manowar.
Man of War.
Yeah,
I don't know Manowar.
they they play power metal songs about how Odin is great, Thor is great, heavy metal is great. We are a bunch of shirtless men in loincloths charging into battle. Seriously,
Sabaton, Man
no.
of War.
Man of War is basically the inspiration for bands like Sabaton, except, uh, well, a lot of their songs are either basically Conan the Barbarian as one of their three themes, Norse mythology, or just that heavy metal is the greatest music ever. Seriously, there are so there
Man.
are songs with lines like "If you do not like heavy metal, you are not my friend," or "They can't stop us, let them try. For heavy metal, we will die."
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
That's about what all heavy metal is.
and it is awesome. And he's actually as as far as I know, from what I've heard, he's a fairly freedom-minded upstate guy.
I tried listening on Google right now, or on YouTube. It wouldn't let me.
Okay,
Yeah, everything stopped for some reason. I don't know why. I almost lost the hangout here.
so I read a book recently about how Switzerland enforced neutrality in uh, World War II.
Switzerland enforcing neutrality in World War II.
So made sure that they didn't get dragged into the war, even when they were surrounded by countries and dominated by Germany.
Yeah.
So the author definitely seems to think that the fact that they gave everybody a rifle is a factor. I mean, up until 1997, they had no firearm laws at all.
Really?
Yeah, although their current laws are vastly less good than ours.
Like more draconian or?
Yeah, they're better than most of Europe, but there's a ways for improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this author is definitely one of our guys. He's also an attorney. He won that Supreme Court case about Thompson Center. You know what I'm talking about?
Thompson Center.
ATF was trying to say that if you have uh, one of those Thompson Center weapons that you can easily switch out the barrel and let for another length barrel and stuff.
Yeah.
If you own both a stock and a barrel less than 16 inches, even if you have of this rifle length barrel, that means you go to prison for having an SBR without a tax stamp. So this guy who wrote this book is actually the attorney who won that case.
I'm reading the Wikipedia for U.S. versus Thompson Center Arms Company.
Yeah, Stephen Halbrook. And he also won a Supreme Court case, Prince versus United States, that limited the Brady Act.
Yeah.
And he's also the author of the book that just came out in this year that just passed, Gun Control in the Third Reich. You heard about that?
No, but that does sound interesting. I do like Third Reich history just because they're so insane.
Yeah, he does in this Switzerland book really connect the seizure of weapons that the Nazis did to repression.
Huh. I did a walking tour when I went to Berlin over the summer with the Third Reich. And to me, what's interesting about that time period is that it's just as insane as everything could get. They did it and then turned it up to 11. They like went to 11 with insanity, and people were just like on board with it. Like, let's do that. Yeah, we're all on board, and people were just like along for the ride. Insanity, like mass insanity.
Yeah, if you get a charismatic leader in charge, he can convince the people to go along with anything because the people as a whole are a herd mass of mindless idiots.
Yeah, there it is. Gun control in the Third Reich. Paperback, Stephen Halbrook. Third Reich presents the definitive yet hidden history of the Nazi regime made use of gun control to disarm and repress its enemies and consolidate power. Well, that makes sense. It's very easy to do that, to repress people when they are disarmed. It's very easy to overrun them and then use totalitarian tactics to supplant them and put them under your boot, figuratively, and then give them no recourse or no redress. Where do we see that happening a lot now, and what communities do we see that happening a lot now? Oh yeah, the ones the Democrats convinced to disarm over the last half century and went along with the gun control laws and just went along with anything the Democrats said to do, and now they're reaping the consequences of not being able to defend themselves from the criminal elements in society and the criminal elements in the police forces. So we have examples of that happening here in the United States on a microcosm. And that's where the liberal in me comes out, and then I go back to being what conservative sites I go on. You know, they call me a conservative troll somehow.
Yeah. I get called that for being a real liberal.
You're a conservative troll. No, I'm where liberals should be.
I'm a real liberal.
You are a regressive.
You're just an authoritarian who thinks liberal means authoritarian.
Man.
So right now I want to give a firearms history lesson to whatever viewers we have. Okay?
All right. Well, there are none, but people will watch it later.
Okay. So, do you know who invented the lever action rifle?
Henry.
No. Two guys working together named Horace Smith and Daniel Wesson.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I can't place it.
So they brought another guy into their company who really to handle the business and manufacturing side of things. He had previously made a lot of money with textile manufacturing, or I think his name was Oliver Winchester.
Again, a familiar name.
And then they left and started their own company. I bet you'll never guess which one.
Sig?
No.
6 Hour? Oh.
Smith and Wesson.
Oh, I'm way off.
So Winchester renamed the company after himself until it got bought by FN. And then he hired another guy, Benjamin Tyler Henry, to do designing weapons.
Oh, nice.
And then
How many of those do I own? See, I own a Smith & Wesson. I own a Henry. What other ones did you say? Winchester? No, I don't own a Winchester.
after the Civil War, when the other main lever action rifle company went out of business, that was Christopher Minor Spencer's company, because everyone who actually wanted one already had one due to the Civil War. Winchester bought them, so this Spencer guy, he started over, and he ended up inventing the pump action shotgun.
Nice.
So all these guys were all connected.
It's conspiracy. It's like the Illuminati of guns.
Yeah.
It's the Illuminati. Smith & Wesson are the beginners of the Illuminati. The Bilderberg of guns. Well, my cough medicine is starting to wear off, so I'm going to have to go because I'm about to start coughing like crazy. I've sucked down too many lozenges.
Okay.
Man. Yep. Colds are awesome.
Try not to die.
Yeah. I'm going to try. Let's see if it works. Whew. All right. Well, that concludes this episode of The Rational Guard. And I'll post this later when it gets done processing. So trying to edit this video and get it out. And I think we'll do this again next week. I should be back from my trip on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, so Friday would definitely work much better for me.
Okay. Yeah, we'll shoot for Friday then.
Yeah, Saturday I'll be in a hotel.
All right. So shoot for next Friday night.
Yeah.
I will talk to you then.
Live long and prosper. And try not to die.
It's difficult, but I'm trying.
Okay. And I'll finish up watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm almost done with the last season. Again.